Good evening and welcome to Press Point. Today, we ask and answer the million-dollar question. No, really, it's a million-dollar question. Why has corruption prevailed in Kenya? What? At the tail end of this episode, we will have a live interview with corruption himself to get his own perspective on this matter. Besides the national flag, the national anthem, and the coat of arms, corruption remains one of our biggest national symbols. A national treasure that exists in official documents, slips under procurement desks, and feeds on public money. Since independence, many heads of state have declared war on this menace, which has somehow found its way to thrive during the reign of the various regimes. How have different presidents tackled corruption, and how did it survive? During the Moi era, the Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission was born. But then KACC, as it was well known then, was merely a baby that couldn't find corruption that was already mature. When Kibaki came to power, he adopted a new strategy called attack and conquer. In a bold move, he made the then ministers, including your current president, to step aside.
There is no need to have any mercy on a fellow who is trying to swindle us. No need. You don't have to. Because that kind of fellow is no use to anyone, not to himself either.
The president's remarks come in the wake of an intensified war against corruption, which has seen at least two ministers, William Ruto and Moses Wetangula, step aside, as well as Nairobi Mayor Geoffrey Majiwa.
We have nothing to hide. This government has said that we will deal with the dragon that is called corruption.
If you do hear that somebody has been sacked because of one or two of these kind of things, just do not have to forgive him. Tell him to learn. Otherwise, what use is he?
And make no mistake, when the axe falls, no post shall stay vacant, at least not in a country where unemployment is at an appalling rate.
We have enough men and women.
And that was not all. Kibaki signed the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Act of 2011 that brought in the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Did that bring an end to corruption? Of course no. Changing a name doesn't change a habit. That is like calling a hyena Mr. Herbivore and expecting it to stop eating goats and to start eating grass. Kibaki meant well, but the beast was stronger than the legislation. The legislation was great on paper, but papers can be shredded. The culture just laughed at the meager efforts. Then came Uhuru. He talked tough and promised to bring down the dragon. At some point, there was a wind of hope that the dragon would be slain. It was almost slain. But does almost count?
Wewe kama unataka kuingiana na mambo ya ufisadi, yeah? Tutapigana na wewe. You can be my brother. You can be my sister. You can be my closest political ally. You can be whatever you are. But you are an enemy of the Republic of Kenya, and we will fight you.
Tough talk didn't seem enough to tackle this menace because, like they say, when you fight corruption, corruption fights back. Guess what happened? President Uhuru's close allies were caught in scandals. The fight was brought to his doorstep.
Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta has reshuffled his cabinet to replace 5 ministers who are being investigated for corruption and one who resigned over the weekend after being accused of graft. President Kenyatta replaced ministers for transport and infrastructure, agriculture, energy and petroleum, and lands and labor. He said the changes were necessary for effective service delivery.
The time has now come to give my government's development agenda fresh impetus and to give the Kenyan public a demonstrable example of our unwavering commitment to delivering on the promises of my administration.
Despite this bold move, what happened next will shock you. As tough as he had started, guess what? He surrendered. Oh yes, he surrendered.
This battle, nikaita mkutano ati naka wa Kenya tuje pamoja tupambane na ufisadi. Sijui kama wengine mnakumbuka. Alafu watu wakaniingilia, mimi nikasema sasa mimi DPP, ofisi ya DPP ni independent. Ofisi ya DCI hawa pia wako na kazi yao. Koti iko na kazi yake. Sasa mimi mnakumbuka hiyo? Sasa mimi mnataka nifanye nini? Ungesikia mabloggers wakati hiyo bwana CJ.
Uhuru then applied what is called the hands-off approach. You know, let the institutions work. Let everyone do their job and corruption will do what? Will disappear. Now, the problem is, if you expect things to work by themselves, they won't. Corruption doesn't retire when you step back. In fact, it recruits. By the time he was going out of office, it was business as usual for corruption. Then came William Ruto, whose Treasury Cabinet Secretary confessed that we lose 2 billion daily. He attempted to plead with the corrupt to at least steal kidogo to, a little less. 2 billion was on the higher side. Why can't you at least steal a billion and leave us with some change?
For bringing us all together to discuss this scourge of corruption. Asanteni sana.
Because pleading was definitely destined to crash before takeoff, Ruto just introduced the Conflict of Interest Act of 2025. During the launch, it was crowned with a prayer, hoping to at least address the conscience of the corrupt.
So today as we gather here, I know there are individuals, there may be couples, there may be families who conspire to defraud our country of the limited resources that we have. As we put this law in place, I pray that as our president appends his signature on this law, that signature will be from heaven and with the force of heaven, so that those people who may be tempted to circumvent it, they will face not the justice of the land only, but also the justice of heaven.
Seems that Bishop David Oginde is determined to fight corruption using spiritual warfare. That prayer was so powerful that the thieves probably asked for copies to hang in their offices. Let's be honest. Is there a prayer that can stop a thief who doesn't believe in judgment?
No.
I guess these thieves see Ananias and Sapphira as victims of poor PR. They wonder why the duo didn't hire a lawyer who they would pay a small percentage of the loot. Now, today in a rare interview, we are joined by none other than Corruption himself. Welcome to our studios, Corruption.
Yeah, Asante, thank you.
Kindly, introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Kitu Kidogo, alias Chai, alias Ongea Vizuri, alias Uko na ngapi, alias yangu ni ngapi kwa hiyo deal, alias...
Hey, okay, sawa. Stop right there. You have too many names.
Yeah, I was only just beginning.
Right, sir.
Yeah.
You have survived many regimes. How?
Simple. I'm in the DNA of the bigger population. I am useful to them. It is so easy to survive. Secondly, I am everywhere. Yeah, in government offices, churches, businesses, you name it. I am Kenyan. Perhaps more Kenyan than most Kenyans.
Well, some say you are the reason the country is bleeding.
Bleeding? Maybe. But I'm also the reason some people are living large. I build homes, I fund campaigns, I run offices, I even pay journalists. Oops, you're singesema. But I do a lot of things.
Okay, all right. So, what's your, survival secret?
Adaptation. Every regime comes in thinking they'll destroy me. They rename the watchdog, I rename my tactics. They form a task force, I form a WhatsApp group. Hii kitu bwana. Na kuanga nimejipanga.
And you don't fear the law?
Fear? Please. I sit next to the lawmakers at fundraisers and in parliament. Sometimes I even write the law. Have you read some of those bills on corruption? I helped draft some, if not all.
And Ruto had a whole dedication service for the EACC. Bishop Oginde prayed against you.
That was powerful. I even clapped. But come on. I have survived fires, fasts, and crusades. You can't pray away a system. Prayers only work if they come with a brown envelope.
Okay. So Uhuru once said, we lose 2 billion daily. What do you want me to do? Mr. Corruption, what was your reaction?
That was my proudest moment. A president admitting defeat. That's legacy, baby.
What about the common mwananchi? I mean, don't you fear the people?
Fear them. I use them. They vote for my friends. They defend me online when we go tribal. They take bribes and still act surprised when they hear of corruption. You see, corruption isn't me, it is us. Most people are on my side.
What? So, how do we stop you, corruption? How do we stop you? How do we get rid of you?
You won't, because deep down, you don't really want to. Now, I have to go. Tell your boss that cap has disappeared. Oh, and kabla nisahau, there is your cat.
Dirty money. Ladies and gentlemen, that was corruption. Unrepentant, well-dressed, and still very much employed. Let's face it, every regime tries a new trick. Rename it, pray over it, deny it, share it or delay it. Yet the untouchable beast lives on, fed by our silence, protected by politics. That was Press Point, the corruption edition. Ciao.